Alright, check it out. This your man's Young RJ. A lot of people been hitting me up asking me, yo, how do you make your tracks? How do you program? How do you get the sound that you got? And basically what I'm going to do with this web series is just basically show you how I broke down and produced some of these records that y'all love. Today I'm breaking down Dayline's Forever. Alright, check it. Forever started off with a soul sample. I can't say what it is because we didn't have to clear it because of how I chopped it. But I'm going to give you the process behind how I made the beat. Started off with the sample. I got my sample chopped up on these pads.
Forever.
Alright, so pretty much what I did was once I got my sample, I took it and found me some drums. I got my drums in here. And basically what I did was I started off with my hi-hat. I did it at 90.7. The reason why I did it at 90.7 was so I can get my the swing of my track to loop right. A lot of people do their stuff in like 90. They do it at even numbers. I do mine at 90.7, 0.3, or 92.5. As long as I'm getting it, my loop how I want it to swing back around. How I did it was, I don't program my stuff in large segments. I start off with a 1 bar or a 2 bar. And once I got my 1 or 2, then I copy it and make it a 4 and alter it so it's not the same thing. So I'm just going to run through how I program the stuff for y'all real quick. Alright. I started off with my hi-hat. Alright, so I got my hi-hat how I want it. So you see I got my 1 bar. So now I'm going to copy it and make it 2 because I don't want my kick to just keep doing the same shit or the same thing. So I'm going to copy it, make me a 2 bar. So I'm working from my 9. Instead of a 1 bar, I got a 2. So now I'm programming extra kicks in there. Alright. So you see I got the boom from the 1 bar. I got to get my swing right. Now I added in my extra kick on the front to give it a swing to it. So now I'm adding in my snare. I laid my kick, you know, the rough of how I did it. Now I program my snare. Alright, so now I got like a live, loose feel to it. Once I did that, I threw in my clap. Just a mark to throw it in there. Alright. Alright, so now I got like an off-on kind of feel to it. Once I did that, I added in some live claps on top. For time's sake, I ain't gonna, do it, but I use a Neumann mic, different compressors. I use about 2 or 3 compressors on it, so I can compress my claps at different ratios and attacks and decays. So once I did that, I threw it in. So now I got the session here. Okay, so now this is pretty much the drum track. So that's what you was left with once I programmed my kick, hi-hat, and put my live claps on top. Alright, so this is, the hard part was the sample. I chopped up a lot of different pieces to make that phrase. That's why we didn't have to clear it. So.
Almost. Forever.
So that's my phrase. Alright. So I just threw that in.
Almost. Forever.
Alright.
Almost. Forever.
So I programmed that in there. felt like it was getting monotonous. So I changed it and made it an 8 bar. So now it went from the 1 to the 2 to the 4 bar, which is what we're working on now. Then I changed it to an 8 bar. And the reason it's an 8 bar is because I did, instead of programming it as a 4/4, I programmed it as a 2/4. So the reason why I program it in 2/4 is so that way I can get my, when you're working with, without quantizing, sometimes it's hard to get everything, the feel of how you're trying to do it in a 4/4 for myself. So I programmed it in 2/4. So now I'm about to copy my 2/4 pattern, which is a 4 now, into an 8. So, and I'm going to finish my phrase of the sample. I'm going to finish my phrase.
Almost forever.
With the sample. So what I did was pretty much, once I got my sample, 9 times out of 10 I'm gonna use the move. I got 2 different moves. I used the Voyager on this one. So I picked my bass sound, filtered it all the way down to take the, so it don't sound like zap, and just give me a nice solid sine sound. So I just pretty much made my sound. Played the bass line out. So that left you with what you got right here. And then I brought in Craig, which is the guy I use sometimes to play keys, because I can play, but I'm better as a sequencer versus doing live all the way down. And Craig is good with doing live all the way down. So we added in the live rolls. That you will hear now. Reason why I added the rolls was so I could add in my frequencies, fill in my frequencies, so the beat wouldn't sound hollow. Then I threw in, a little atmosphere, stuff like that. Sent it to De La. But actually, the thing is, I didn't want to keep the beat at first. When I originally did the track, it just, there wasn't nothing special to me because I was trying to take it to the next level. So Craig actually convinced me when he was in the studio to dump the beat, because I was actually had my finger on the power button to turn it off. Luckily, Craig came to the studio and convinced me to keep it. I sent it to De La. They went crazy. They did their verses, knocked it out, and that's how Forever was done.